Hello, Rob White here with OnClarity. I would like to welcome you to the second video segment in the Getting Started video sessions, where I will be talking about setting preferences under the General tab. So from the home page, you will select Settings, and then select Preferences on the left. And to the right, you will see 4 tabs: General, Report Generator, Photographs, and Email. In this video session, we're going to be discussing the options under General. Before starting, I'd like to remind you that we have a Display Tooltips checkbox. If this box is checked, you'll see that a message box will open up, and these are tips on what each of these fields represent. Also, at the top of the page, you're going to see a little cloud message box with an eye. This can turn the tooltips on or off on this particular page. So for this video session, we're going to turn it off by clicking on it. You will see a red X, and now that turns the tooltips off. Anytime you'd like to turn it back on, just go up and click the box, and it will display the tooltips again. First item under General is going to be the inspection number type. We have 3 settings for this field. You can set it to none, or you'll be able to input your own inspection number type. You can set a prefix sequential, where the prefix can be set to anything that you like. You can use your company name, company initials. And then the next item would be what number do you want to start your inspections with. There's also a box to allow editing of the number once it's generated. And the inspection number is a 5-digit field, and if you'd like to put leading zeros, you can check the box here. So let's take a look at what each one of these produces. We'll set it to none first. We're going to go back to the home page, select New, which brings us to the order page, and you will see the number field is blank. At this point, I can type in any information that I would like. If I set the number to prefix sequential, and let's use company initials, and I want to start the inspection at 200. We'll go ahead and leave edit on, and we'll leave in the leading zeros. We go back to the home page, select New, and now on my order, you'll see an inspection number of JNR 00200. If I want to change this, I can go ahead and edit it, and maybe define this is the first inspection for the day. I could also change it to a date sequential. And again, once I do that, you will see that the boxes are grayed out. I'm going to leave the Allow Edit box checked. Let's go back to Home, create a new report. So now you can see the inspection number is in a date format. The first 4 digits will be the year, the second 2 is the month, and the next 2 are the day. And then it assigns a sequence number, and since I've created 3 inspections during this demo, it increased the sequence number by 1 each time. The next field is the default inspection mode. There are 2 options here. One is room by room, the other is by system. Most inspectors probably go through a room by room type of inspection. So let's take a look and see what that. We go back to Home, and we'll just select one of these inspections that we've already created. And to the left, you're going to see a tab, which is the inspection number. It lists all the options that you have. We're going to open up inspection items. This is where you'd start your inspection. And you're going to notice here that it came up in room by room mode. I also have the option of selecting systems. And under room by room, we have the base number of rooms listed. To create a room, I click on and create new, and I can rename the room also. Once I create the room, I now have all the items underneath that room that I want to inspect. If I select System and go back to the inspection, now it will bring me up in system mode, and under each of the systems I will have a list of items for my inspection. So there's options on how you want to do your inspection, again, customizable. The next item is the default template. For Texas inspectors, we're required to use the current TREC form. If you're outside the state of Texas and you don't have a state form, then most likely you're going to use the general form, and you can also create your own form to call in. So we'll select the current TREC form, and when I go to inspection, under general information is the inspection template, and as you see, it's selected the RAI 7.2 for this inspection. If I had selected general and I create a new inspection, go to general information, you'll see it's selected the standard general report. The statistics default time frame, this has an option of setting the default of what information that you want to view under statistics. And again, this is just a default. If I set it year to date, at the top there's a statistics tab. I can look at my revenue for the year. I can look at each month to see what my revenue was by period. If I want to change this, then I can change it here. I can look at last quarter. So very flexible. We've already talked about the display tooltips. Again, you can leave this checked and turn it off on each tab by simply clicking the cloud message at the top of the screen. Recent inspections. This is the number of inspections that you want to see visible on your home page. So I go back to home. Here I have the last 10 inspections that I've done. I recommend keeping this under 30. The more inspections that are listed here, the longer that can take to load the program at startup time. There is a default mileage rate box here, and whatever the current mileage rate is, you can enter that information here, and it will get copied. Onto your order form. Under mileage rate. So here you can keep track of your cost. After each inspection, plug in the number of miles that you traveled that day, and it will calculate what your cost was. The next 6 items: the default comment font, default issue font, note heading, default comment color, issue font color, and note heading color. These are defined as the default, so when you create your quick text comments, this is the font and color that will be used. You'll notice that under default comment font, I have a Times Roman. I can select any font that I want. I can make it regular, italics, bold. and I select the size. So I've selected default 10. My color is black. Here I have my issue fonts as Times Roman, but I have bolded, turned bold on, so that any comment I create for issues, it's going to bold that comment so it would stand out in the report. If I wanted to change the color, I can do that here also. The note heading is for the voice notepad. Introspect Voice has an option to turn a voice notepad on. It's similar to a recorder, and you can just record whatever you would like, and it will translate that into the voice notepad. This would be the font that it uses. You can do that manually or through or by voice commands. So let's take a look at creating a quick text. When you go into quick text, at the top is the issue and comment. Both of these are where you will separate whether you are just want to call in a information type comment or whether you want to create a comment for a deficiency or an issue. Since I have the default issue set as bold, let's create a comment and see what it looks like. So we'll go new, and you'll notice that I'm already highlighted down here in my text box, so I can just start typing. Now you'll notice as I type the text that it started off in bold. At this option I can also change the color if I wanted to. I can make it italics, or I could underline it. So I have a lot of the same functionality I do with Word for editing my text when I create a new comment. So let's go back to settings, back to preferences, and let's set the default to red for my issues. We'll go create a new comment. And now as I start typing, you'll see that my comment automatically came out in red. So lots of flexibility here when you create your quick text as to how you want them to show up in your report. The voice notepad, if you go to an inspection, on the right here you'll see a tab for voice notepad. There's two ways that I can enter information here. I can either use my voice program with the headset, and I can activate that through the headset, or I can just start type notes into it. If I use the headset and use voice dictation to add the note, in the event the voice dictation did not completely understand and interpret the text correctly, I could play it back and listen to what I had entered. So a lot of flexibility here with your quick text and creating your comments. The next item is the quick text picker. You have three options here. One, to see the voice tag that was assigned to the quick text, or you can view the entire text of your comment, or you can view both the voice tag and the quick text. So let's set this to voice tag. Go back to the inspection. Let's create a room real quick. When I select quick text or just put my cursor on it, it lists off a list of the voice tags that I currently have, and you'll notice that as I move the cursor over, you will see the voice tag show up on the list. if I set it to note and take my cursor over the quick text, and now take my cursor over one of my comments, you will see that it displays the entire comment. And if I select both, now you're going to see two columns. The first one is going to be the voice tag. The second one will be the entire comment. I would recommend that as you are practicing with the system and you're practicing with, if you've bought the voice module, that you set your quick text picker to the voice tag. That way, as you practice entering a report and you highlight these fields, you will see your voice tag, and you can start practicing calling your comments in using your voice tag. The more you do this, then the more accustomed you will become to remembering your voice tags and be able to start calling them in without even pulling the list up. The quick text blank rows. Here you can set if you want to put a space between your comments. This is where you would set that number. You can also, on the next 6 fields, as you enter your comments or call them in or select them with the quick text picker, and if you've set your blank rows to 1, then it makes it very readable. So let's take a quick look at that. So under exterior and roof cover, when I add a comment, you'll see it puts a blank line when I add the next comment, so it makes it very readable by doing it that way. And also by adding multiple lines, of course, it's going to increase the size of the number of pages that your inspection report will be. If you want to cut down the blank lines, then I can set this to 0. My quick text blank rows, set that to 0. And I can now either select bullets or numbers. Let's look at the bullets. And now when I enter my quick text, I will have bullet items with no spaces. So now it makes it a little bit more readable because of the bullet items. Or I can number my comments. And now, as you see, as I enter my comments, they're in numbered sequence. So again, very customizable as to how you would like to your client to view your reports. And I can do the same thing if I'm using voice dictation. And we'll talk about voice dictation in another video. The next 2 fields is an email binder default and then a save as binder default. Binders is when I want to group a set of reports together, and here I have one defined as report. I've created a binder document that every time I create the binder, it's going to include the inspection report, an invoice, and in Texas they have an OPI statement that has to be sent. So these 3 things, these 3 reports would be generated under binders. And again, you can define any type of binder that you want. I have a summary binder set up to where it creates an issue summaries and a photo summaries. And another binder set up that just creates an invoice. So you can do many things with this. The binder is how you want to generate the file. Do you want to create a separate file for each one of those individual reports? or do you want to group them all as one file? Currently this is set to multiples, so I will create, with this binder with report, I'm going to create multiple files. I will create one for the inspection report, one for invoice, and one for the OPI. So I would have, when I sent my email, I would have to include all three of those within my email. If I want to create one file, then I would set this to single, and it would lump all three of those reports into one file. So again, customizable as to how you want to send your reports out. Same way with the save as, it will save, in this instance, 3 separate report files. Let's take a quick look. Here you'll see on 0103.13, each one of these are individual reports because it was set to multiple. So it created an inspection report, it created an invoice report, it created a summaries, here's the OPI, and a photo summary. So I can separate these out and mail them out individually. The default note type is when I start my inspection, which field am I going to automatically go to? Will it be comments or issues? This one's it's set to issue right now, so let's take a look. You'll notice that the issue tab is selected. So when I go to my quick text, I'm going to see the quick text, my comments for issues. If I want to change that to where it always comes up to comments first, then I select comments. And now my comment tab is selected. And when I highlight my quick text picker, then I see all the comments for just general comments. The auto check burst status. With the TREC form, there's 4 check boxes. So if I select the deficiency box, it will automatically check the inspected box. We'll see that. So I've checked deficient. You will notice that the inspected box is automatically checked for you. If you don't want that setting on, then you can just uncheck the auto check burst status. And now when I select the deficiency box, you'll notice that the inspected box did not get checked. You would have to manually check that box. The next 4 preferences are set for the hyperlinks. Here we're allowing hyperlinks to be formatted. I can define the color that I want the hyperlink to be in. Here the active hyperlinks will be formatted into the PDF file. And the hyperlink style, I can set it to italics, and I could underline it. So when I create a quick text, let's say I had a link to a website, put in my comment. To activate that, I highlight it, right-click to add hyperlink. It's going to ask you where does the link location go to. Since the text that I highlighted I want to send to an actual website, I type that website in, say OK, and now you'll see that it automatically italicized, underlined, and put the text in blue. And this link is now active in my reports. It will take the user directly to that website. The final box is the information notes for the issue summary intro. When you produce a summary report, this information is what will be printed at the top of your summary report. So very flexible. You can add any type of information that you want here. As you can see, Introspect Voice has given you the options to customize the software for how you do an inspection and how you would like your reports to look. This concludes the second video in Getting Started series on setting your general preferences. In the next video, we will discuss the report generator. Thank you and look forward to seeing you next time.